Hello everybody, it's me. This is going to be the Q&A video. I said I was going to do this in a community post, and a bunch of people asked a bunch of questions, and I'm going to, well, answer them. I'm going to try to answer them all. And I'm going to take my time with this because I wanted to make sure my answers are clear and concise. I made 2 community posts, so that's 2 sets of questions. So if a name appears twice in the video, it's because they're separated. And whatever, I don't know what video is going to be in the background. I'm recording this in advance with not doing anything so that I can focus on answering the questions. So whatever you're seeing in the background is not what I'm doing right now. Alright, the first questions come from the Cybop guy, or Ryan Wilson, as you probably know him from other websites. His first question is, what is your favorite island you've released? At the current moment, my favorite island is probably either Outcasted Crater or Carnival Island once it's released. I feel like all the content I've made before those 2 islands, it was like the beta, and now I'm getting into the actual content that I wanted to always create. Second question is, what is your least favorite island you've released? That's an easy one. The original Toy Island. The original Toy Island was super rushed. It was super not thought out. I had no plan going in. I had no plan going out. I even knew it was bad when I released it. It's the only island to this day that I hated on release. And I am just so disappointed in myself for making it. Now, Toy Island Alternate, on the other hand, is a masterpiece. Go listen to that one instead. Third question. What advice would you give to people who want to make fan islands? Make sure the monsters have a clear personality. Make sure that a personality is expressed through the design and face instead of through just saying it. Make sure the song has a coherent theme and the theme relates to the island you designed it for. And mostly just do what you want to hear in music. Music is completely subjective. All of this is just art design tips. It's hard to give tips on music since everyone will enjoy something. Fourth question. What common theme do you hate the most with fan islands? Design tropes, song themes, etc. Okay. Design tropes I hate the most are just really simplistic shapes. Either that or just animals. They're both pretty much in the same boat for me. If you design a square with a face and some pipes and call it an organ monster, I'll hate it. If you design an porcupine that's just an organ, I'll also hate it. Song themes. Trendians. I hate them. Question 5. What would you like to see more out of fan islands? Mostly just expression. A lot of the islands that are released they just feel very samey, and I just don't see people getting creative. I want to see more islands try to break out of the normativity of music and express something completely crazy. That's why I like Quinn's content at the moment. His content, he's not a he's not a professional composer, and it shows in his music, but in my opinion it shows in a charming way, and because he's not a professional, it makes the music not standardized, which makes it unique and it makes it stand out more. Next set of questions come from Hex G27629, also just Hex. First question, which MSM tuber channels do you recommend if someone's new here? Mantis Boy has he's pretty much the cornerstone of all MSM content. If you want something completely different, Queck, Queek, his content is really pushing what even defines music, and I really like what he's doing. If you want more standard songs, like things that are easier to listen to and not really like experimental, Hex's content himself has very catchy beats, catchy rhythms. They're simple and easy to listen to, and they are great for introductions to the themes of MSM. Or, you know what? If you're new to the community, just listen to the official islands, and they'll give you enough ideas on your own. Second question. What overuse thing do you see in every fan-made monster that bothers you? The idea of copying something else. It seems like so many people are copying themes and design choices that other content creators use, and it's kind of bothering me. I want to see people express more of what they want. I don't want to see the same thing expressed by another person. I want that other person to create something that they would create with no help at all. Which monster of yours would you remake into something completely new? The Siren. The Misfit Siren. I love the infant form, and the adult form, it was an interesting concept, but its execution is terrible. And it's way too simplistic when compared to most of the other Misfits, so I am contemplating redesigning it completely. Out of all the collabs islands you have, which one do you think is the best one? Definitely Rubber Hose. It's an overplayed theme. It's an overplayed idea. The song is kind of generic and bubbly, but the concepts are fun. It's one of my most viewed videos, and it is definitely, without question, the best time period piece I've ever made. Do you wish you joined this community at an earlier year? Yes, absolutely. Friends tell me about stories from early 2016 MSM, and I just am sitting there in aghast because I was into MSM at the time, but I was just too shy to join the community aspect. The final question. How do Ampworm become fat when grow up, lol? He eat cake and become heckin' chunker. Ebo and Ba fan asks, what's the first fan-made island you remember seeing? That is a really hard question to answer because before getting into MSM, I actually didn't watch fan-made islands. I honestly thought that they'd all be bad. I literally could not see people making stuff that was greater to the quality of BBB. So the first one I remember seeing is not an easy thing for me to answer because it was a while after joining the community and I already had so much on my plate. If I had to make a guess, it would probably be Fusion Island by Strimes. That seems like a good answer for it. I can't read that name because it's in Russian, but I'll put the name on the screen. And he asks, does Green Fury guy with rainbow thing from Modern Island officially named unnamed? Or you just forgot to put his name? I forgot to put the name. The name is... No, wait. I did put his name. I know what one you're talking about. It's Constructor. The name I forgot to put on the list is Factorps. Constructor is the thing with the rainbow instrument. Alright. I'm gonna butcher this name, but Juan Palomaque Juan asks, is there a connection between your monsters, like the Misfits or Outcasts? Yes. The Misfits and Outcasts are connected element-wise. They are both mirrors of each other. Chitin to Bug, Caustic to Slime, Synthetic to Toy, Abstract to Strange... No, not Abstract. Surreal to Strange, and Twilight to Dusk. I think I'm forgetting one, but I don't care. Oh, Clarity to Pure. And the Outcasts to Horrors have a connection, being basically the Ethereals. The Outcasts are the Ethereals to the Horrors naturals. Other than that, the only other connections are the Deifics, but you'll see that in due time. Uncharted Entertainment asks, 1. Out of all the unreleased Historian Islands, which island are you looking forward to making / completing the most? I.e. Renaissance, Cambrian Explosion, or World War II, etc. There's an interesting thing I'm doing with Rome. That one should be fun to do. And other than that, one that I'm really excited to start working on is the native island, Moravian's Island. And if it counts, the answer is Slipstream's Island. That is definitely the one I'm most excited to do, but I'm not counting it for obvious reasons. 2. Do you actually enjoy Snail Bob, or do you just play it because people tell you to do it? I just play it because people tell me to do it. The game is boring, but it's funny. Alright. Scrubby the Slime asks, what's your favorite kind of egg? Over easy. Or egg sandwich, but I'm only counting the egg alone. Trumpler1010 asks, what is the what is the most unique monster in your opinion that you have ever made? It's one of the three misfits that's not an actual instrument. So, Calcule, Zlipper, or Schwabble. Calcule being just bubbles, Zlipper being a zipper, and Schwabble being thunder paper. I think Schwabble is the most unique monster I've ever made because I am just shocked no one's ever done a thunder paper monster before. It seems obvious. Hollywill06 Holly asks, which island is next? 80s Island. Will there be other modern island sounds? No, the ones in the videos are the only ones on the island. Modern Island is completed in the vision that I wanted it to be completed in. I don't see myself altering it anytime soon. Drac the Kravabe boy, I'm going to assume it's Kravabe, or Kravibe. Drac asks, what is your least favorite monster that you made? Cyrene. Just an easy one. Either that or Piranha. I don't like Piranha's sound fun anymore. It was funny at the time, but I don't like it anymore. Nathaniel Lim asks, what is your Discord tag? My Discord tag is a secret for reasons that I really can't get into. How many pancakes can you eat? 1. I am not a pancake guy. Can you show us the concept of Glider? Yeah, I'll put it on the screen right now. That's the concept. It didn't change much. Mantis pretty much did it exactly how I wanted it to. There's not much else that can be said. The clan asks, why did you choose the channel name Mr. Zamboni? It's a very long story, but basically, when I was a kid, my sister had a name Zombie Girl on Steam. I really liked the zombie theme, so I wanted to keep it. I named myself Mr. Zamboni, or Mr. Zomboni, because that was my favorite zombie in Plants vs. Zombies, the original. And I forgot how to spell Zomboni, so I accidentally spelled it Zamboni, and it just kind of stuck. I was going to change it to Zomboni, but I just like Mr. Zamboni now. So that's really the origin. This is a guy asked, who is who in Modern Island? I still don't know. You'll see it eventually. I still have to put the video together. It's a pretty long one for all of the individuals that were teased in the original 5. But trust me, it will come out eventually. I'll show all the names, all the bios, stuff like that. Juanito Sanchez asks, will you upload the other monsters on Modern Island? Oh, I just answered that. You both are silly billies. Sagi asks, does Collector make wildly inaccurate reconstructions of extinct monsters? Yes. That is the theme. Collector gathers fossils. Constructor gathers artifacts and tries to recreate them. 2. What made you go with a man bony for your avatar? So it's actually different from this story because I didn't draw Mr. Zamboni until way after thinking of the name. I drew Mr. Zamboni because originally my Sona was going to be a scorpion in a suit because scorpions are my favorite animals. But I didn't want to change my name from Mr. Zamboni, so instead of a scorpion head, I just made it a Zamboni. And it stuck. Pixelo49 asks, what does the name of your channel come from? What does the name of your channel come from? I already answered that. How did you find out about MSM? Through the ads. The 2016 ads that were everywhere. They were on every app. I really hated them. But after a while, I caved in. I finally downloaded the game, and I've been stuck here ever since. Who inspired you to make MSM content? Uh, it's two very drastically different things. It was Geometry Dash Meltdown. No, Geometry Dash World had a song in it that really inspired me to design monsters because it sounded like it could have been an MSM island. And the other is Strimes because he was the first person I actually watched fan made content for. So he's the one that made me realize I could actually make my own content. Uh, which monster that you made is your favorite? That is not an easy question because I have over 200. I'll order them based on class. My favorite misfit is probably Neptuna or Yayan. My favorite historian is shoot, what's the name? Lilindel from Gothic Island. Or Pampered from Modern Island. My favorite outcast is Bawabibi. My favorite horror hasn't been released yet, so I can't say it. And my favorite Deific hasn't been released yet, obviously, so I can't say it. What is your pet peeve? My pet peeve is when people design things that don't have a clear personality direction. Like they'll design something that has all of these bright colors, but the personality is like dark and brooding. Basically, when poses, design, and colors do not match how the character acts, it just really ticks me off. Because it should be so easy. Which school subject is your least favorite? Gym. And no, French. Gym or French? Gym because I am weak and I'm not determined enough to become stronger. French because I have a mental limitation that completely prevents me from learning a second language, but I have to do French because I live in Canada. If you could play any musical instrument professionally, which one would it be and why? Saxophone, because saxophones are cool and funny and they're really expensive, so that is the only way I'd ever be able to own one, is if I could just get it. If you could have any superpower, which one would it be? Probably the ability to transmogrify, a polymorphic power. The ability to just change into whatever I wanted. That seems like the most universally useful. What is your favorite video game? Portal 2. That's a very simple one. Loved it the moment it came out, still love it to this very day. That Delta Gamer Neo asks, can I use some of your monsters for a fan game, please? These are fan-made monsters. I have no ownership over them except for the idea that I made them. As long as you credit me for the original design, you are free to use whatever I want. This goes for anyone. You don't have to ask for my opinion. You don't have to ask for permission because at the end of the day, these are all not original. The concept behind them isn't original, so you can't really claim ownership over them. LMAP didn't ask a question, but I can tell that they just want to hear me say this word, so I'm going to try to give it my best shot. Pneumolatramicroscopic silicovolcanoconolysis. I'm sorry. Abed Al Wahab Abu Shark asks, when is Deific coming out? The first Deific monster should be coming out soon. I want to get it out before the end of the month. It's a really hard island to work for, as you'll see in due time when the song starts uploading, so don't expect it to be completed anytime soon. What is Deific? Deific is the class of monsters that is a race of individuals that reside over an element. Unlike races of monsters like the Misfits, the Deifics are individuals and as such are singular beings. There's only one of each. They are basically the celestials of the world, and they govern the 4 classes of monsters that exist, being the misfits, the outcasts, the horrors, and another one that I have not made yet. What is the next history island? I answered this one earlier. It's 80s Island. Are you ever going to animate? Well, Carnival Island's going to take a while to come out. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. What do all the history elements look like? All of them share the same elemental sigil, which was seen in the Otherworldly trailer. It is an hourglass with sand flowing down it. What time period is Slipstream? Yes. What relations do the outcasts have with your other monsters? The outcasts, like I said earlier, are mirrors to the misfits, but they are also rejects from the Horror Islands. The Horror Islands could not support both classes of monsters, so the outcasts were outcasted to find new land, and then they got trapped in the crater. And they can't really leave it, except for a few. How is this man? I have no idea. How is this man? What are you going to do when you finish all MSM and Dawn of Fire songs for Your Singing Monsters? The plan is to move on to fan-made islands. I don't know what islands. That will be a choice for the group, I guess. What's your favorite official island, ethereal island, fan island? It changes a lot, but currently my favorite fan island is Undergunk Depths by Queck and Shroom Island by Mantis Boy, but that hasn't been fully released yet, so I can't really use it. Island made by you. It's not released yet, but it's a horror-y island. That's all I'm gonna say. Pixelo49 back again. Are these all the questions from earlier? What is the name of the class for the monsters on Carnival Island? They are the Horrors. Horrories. How long did it take you to compose the song for Misfit Isles? One of the reasons the Misfit Isles song is so not very good is because it took me an entire day. I composed pretty much the entire 63 Monster Island in a day. Out of all the monsters that you have made so far, which one is your favorite and least favorite? I kind of individualized it earlier, but out of all of them, my least favorite monster is probably Piranha, and my favorite is probably the horror that I haven't revealed yet, but you'll see in due time. Let's see what else we got here. What do you think would happen if the Misfits and the monsters from MSM met each other for the first time? Well, because there's a lot of bugs in the Misfit Islands, I don't think they'd get along a lot, unless the MSM monsters just like bugs. But chances are, they'd probably hit it off. If this was Dawn of Fire, though, it would be way too much for the continent to hold, because then you'd have 2 6 elements eventually. Imagine that. Yayan and the whatever the 6th element will be for MSM clashing. That would be something I'd want to see. What is your favorite food? My favorite food is probably chicken pot pie. A good chicken pot pie is something I will never not look forward to. What is your favorite cartoon? There's an old Canadian show called Ruby Gloom. Ruby Gloom is my favorite cartoon of all time, without question. I know it's a girl show, but I don't care. Do you own any pets? Yes, I own a Rottweiler named Chevy. Oh, he's a Pitweiler. He's a Pitbull Rottweiler mix. What is your favorite video game? I already answered this earlier. It's Portal 2. Benjamin Tavora asks, how many monsters have sleepers around them? Alright, let's see if I can remember this. The first monster to have a sleeper was Arturiel from Dark Age Island. After Dark Age, I think the next one was I can't remember. You know what? I'm just gonna have to say them out of order. Arturiel is one. Factoot is one. Pampered. Beon. Uh, there wasn't one on Mesozoic. E-Singles on Egyptian. Did Arabian? Yeah, Levelittle on Arabian, and I think that's it. Unless you count the sigils on Typhon or Typhoon. Those could also be considered one. Or the spegs on Project Horse. Those could also be considered sleepers, but I wouldn't consider them sleepers because they're not a person. How many Historian Islands end with horses? The running theme is that every single community history island ends with a horse percussionist. The first one was Cruxecution on Dark Age, and then the second one was Taiko on Japan. Oh, that's another sleeper, by the way, Kimono. Japan had Taiko, and that's when someone pointed out that both Japan and Dark Age ended with horse percussion. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to make this a running theme. So then Stalvent came for Metropolis, and then John Silver Camel on Egyptian, who's not technically a horse, but he still counts. And then Project Horse on Rubber Hose. Wow, it really feels like there should be more. What are the misfit equivalents? I answered this earlier. It's the outcasts. Unless you're referring to misfit equivalents to MSM elements, in which case it's a different story. The misfit equivalents for the MSM islands is hard to say, but basically, if we're going by island order, it would be Wingnut is Potbelly, Sourbeat is Mammoth, Strange, so Zlipper is Tweedle, Pure Solarman is Toejammer, and then that would make Polyboy, Noggin, and Wisdom Kana. That is the equivalence. Alright, let's see. What else we got here? Gary O'Connor asks, do you like Wilkins coffee commercials? Let me just look them up. Sure. Which was your favorite song to compose? It is not released yet, but one of the Hoary Islands is in 7-4. And there's also a Misfit Island coming up that's in 9-8. And Deific Island is in time signature. Heck, it's weird. Basically, songs that are in a different time signature are the funnest ones to compose for me. If I had to pick a single one, it would be Deific. Deific is interesting in the fact that it doesn't really have a time signature. It's a bunch of time signatures that are in a trench coat trying to pass off as a single time signature. What was your favorite monster by you? I answered that earlier. 4. Do you like me? Yeah, sure, you're cool. Do you like the puns I make in requesting islands for your singing monsters? Yeah, I love every time someone makes comedy, they're just trying to make the world happier, so it always makes me laugh no matter what. Is Constructor the aardvark thing or the vacuum cleaner? It's the aardvark thing. The vacuum cleaner thing is its instrument. Do you watch the Meme Islands? No, Meme Islands are trash. Pommy Bippy asks, are you a girl? Yes. Charles0304 asks, do you have a fan kit? Not now, but soon. Alright, that's all the questions on the Q&A request board and all of the questions on the 1K announcement board. So now that we got those out of the way, I just want to let you know to subscribe, to stick around, see the content that's coming up. I got some really cool things planned. There's a Misfit Island coming up. There's Horrors coming up. I got Deific coming up. 80s Island. There's tons of stuff to look forward to on the channel. I'm not stopping anytime soon. I got plans for years, so you guys are going to be spoiled with content soon. Thanks for sticking around this long, and I'll see you all in the next one.